about Noah Fant.
All right, number 13 is David Njoku of the Cleveland Browns. How about number 12?
Evan Ingram of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I saw the ESPN list on this, and he was, I believe, 8, and I laughed until it hurt. He's just not that good. He's a raw talent. He's very athletic. Mm-hmm. He cannot block to save his life, and he's basically a wide receiver. He also does not have very good hands.
Okay.
He's never had good hands.
Yeah.
He had fumble issues in New York. He had drop issues in Jacksonville.
Yeah, his hands are fine, though. I mean, throw the guy a ball enough times, he's going to catch a few of them.
Yeah, he'll accidentally catch a few.
But Evan Ingram.
I mean, do you think there's anything special to him? Because I don't.
I don't. I mean, in the terms of if I'm looking for a receiving tight end, and that's the only thing I'm looking for, he's 7 on the list, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe a little higher.
I can't have him ahead of any of these other guys because he's just not a complete player.
Right. Okay, let's go to number 11.
Dawson Knox. Got 2 guys whose names are pretty close here back to back.
Mm-hmm. This is one that I look at and I go, I believe I'd have Evan Ingram ahead of him because I'm just not sure what you're going to get out of Knox with Kincaid in town. Kincaid's
going to play in the slot to me. And that's for everything I've heard.
Targets. But he's still going to take targets away from the tight end. They're still going to try to get the ball out on the outsides. No,
that doesn't change out. Because that's what I'm talking about is in terms of sheer talent.
Oh, okay. The blocking ability of Dawson Knox puts him above Evan Ingram.
And he's not a great blocker, but he's serviceable.
Well, I'm going to say
Evan Ingram couldn't block me.
Right. He's more of a complete tight end than Evan Ingram, and that's what puts him above him. Because I don't think on receiving you can say that he's better than Evan Ingram.
Well, here would be my argument between those two. I've seen Dawson Knox be the 3rd option in Buffalo. I saw Evan Ingram as the 3rd option with the Giants, and he was horror-awful. Then you get him to Jacksonville, and you got ETN, you've got Christian Kirk, you had the other slew of Zay Jones that they had last year, and all of a sudden he's good. Yeah, but when I asked you to be the guy in New York, you were terrible. Dawson Knox been 3 in Buffalo for 2 solid years.
Mm-hmm.
Could argue he's been there for 3 years.
No, he had 1 good season in New York, and then
it fell off a cliff.
Well, I mean, it didn't. I mean, he went from 700 plus and 6 touchdowns in 2017 to just about 6-3, and then right under 5-3. So it wasn't like he just disappeared. It just wasn't what they wanted it to be.
Well, he was just never great. Period. Because everything you just said to me is very similar to each other.
Yeah. He's never been the focal point, and he's never going to be a focal point, especially not in Jacksonville after they just picked up Calvin Ridley.
Correct.
So there you go. First 3, number 13, David Njoku, Evan Ingram at 12, Dawson Knox at 11. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we will continue down the list. Top 13 tight ends for 2023, according to the tight end whisperer, Jeremy Green.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound light delays between Long Shoals Road to approaching Airport Road. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. In Fairview, Charlotte Highway near Hollywood Road delays both directions. In Polk County, 26 eastbound stop and go between West Mills Street and SC 14. Westbound side of 26 in Polk County is stop and go after US 74 and before Holbert Cove Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. With the Chalupa Supreme Beefy 5-Layer Burrito, Crunchy Taco, Cinnamon Twist, and Medium Drink, Taco Bell's $5 Cravings Box is packed as ever and $5 as ever. Get one at Taco Bell stores. For a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for price and participation which vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year. Which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Foo Fighters,
Fall Out Boy,
Kelly Clarkson,
Kane Brown,
Lil Wayne,
Lenny Kravitz,
Miguel,
Public Enemy,
Sheryl Crow,
Travis Scott,
Tim McGraw,
TLC,
30 Seconds to Mars.
Get your tickets now.
Or 2020
XS.com.
The Dell Technologies Black Friday and July event starts now with limited quantity deals on top business PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Plus, get special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
At Ingalls, we know your closest companions are the ones who are always there for you. The ones you trust to have your back, no matter what. Who make the hard times a little softer, and the good ones, somehow, a little better. That's what family is all about, whether they walk on 2 legs or 4. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
The Sportsocracy.
That's horrible. No, you know what that is? That's horror awful. That's horrible and awful mixed together. Horror awful.
It is the Sportsocracy tight ends ranking on a Power Rankings Tuesday.
Apparently, Mother Nature is very angry about my tight end list because it is evil outside.
It is a thundering. It is a lightning.
If you've never experienced a thunderstorm around a radio station, I feel like you should. There's a lot of things that pop and crackle and sound like somebody could get electrocuted very soon.
Top 13 tight ends for 2023 with the tight end whisperer. Number 13, David Njoku. Number 12, Evan Ingram. Number 11, Dawson Knox. Who comes in the top 10?
Dalton Schultz.
Okay.
Just because he went to a team that is total dog water, it doesn't mean that he is also dog water.
He's fine. He's good.
He would have been, I would have said probably 6 last year. And trust me, I bumped him down because he doesn't have a quarterback. He's now probably the best receiver on his own team. And I don't know that that's going to benefit him in any discernible way.
I mean, it spells a lot of targets, as I feel like it should. The only other competition he has for targets on that team is
John
Mechie and
Nico Collins.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Nico Collins. Let's go. Kiki QT, does he still play for them?
No.
That
was at least 4 teams ago.
Houston's terrible, but maybe, just maybe, they can get some offensive production out of Dalton Schultz and Damian Pierce.
By the way,
those are the only 2 fantasy relevant players on that team.
Can I just say this for the record? So last year, the team that I told you I was going to sit back and enjoy watching them get just absolutely pounded because their fan base was annoying me was the Chicago Bears.
Yep.
It was the Browns the year before that. I thought it was going to be the Bengals the year before that. That didn't go my way.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 out of 3 ain't bad. This year, Houston Texans. I would wager probably 30% of our YouTube comments right now are Texans fans telling me, well, the guy with the mullet's going to eat his words. No, I'm not. You're bad. Like, super bad.
I don't see how you could be excited about this.
I don't either.
Texans experiment.
We got a coach, and now we have a player that's not awful. Yeah. Yep. And you gave up the chance of Caleb Williams to do that.
To get C.J. Stroud. Good job.
I was talking about Will Anderson. C.J. Stroud, he leaves a lot to be desired for me.
Indeed. Dalton Schultz coming in at number 10.
I have a funny feeling this next one is the one where people are going to go, oink.
Okay.
That's higher than I thought he would be.
Number 9.
Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
I love him.
But for why?
He's so talented. I think this is the breakout year for Kmet. I will tell you this. I think Cole Kmet has 1,000 yards receiving this year.
Wow.
He never has to come off the field because he's such a good blocker.
Okay.
And now you add in that this Bears team is actually not terrible. Look, adding DJ Moore changes a lot for me.
I get that they're not terrible.
And they're going to be in some shootouts because I still don't believe in the defense. Which means what? You're going to have to score points.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't know if they can. I mean, he had 7 touchdowns last year. He had a really good season last year.
And I would say that's probably his floor this year.
Really?
Well, think of how big he is, and think of every other target on that team. They're all itty-bitty. So
DJ Moore is definitely not your red zone target.
No. I mean, you add in a guy. I mean, he's a deep threat. You add in a guy that is basically one of the best basketball players in the NFL on a team that we think is going to score considerably more and have to because their defense is still not great.
Mm-hmm.
That's a recipe for many, 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 many good things.
DJ Moore's not a big man. Darnell Mooney's not big. I get it.
You told
You're
me
looking him to body up defenses in the red zone. Okay.
You told me you thought there was a drop off after the next guy. I think that drop off happens after Cole Kmet. To me, there's a huge drop off from Kmet to Dalton Schultz.
Okay. Where I think the drop off comes in is between 8 and 9, and number 8,
T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah.
I don't believe in him nearly as much as you do.
Oh, I'm a T.J. Hawkinson believer.
Yeah,
Have been
not.
since the moment he stepped into the league. And him being in Minnesota only helps me like him more.
T.J. Hawkinson does one thing really, really well. He has one unbelievable performance a month. Ish. He has 3 or 4 huge games a year. And he is as inconsistent as the day is long. And usually when you think it's coming, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think there's no shot it's going to happen, it does. Which is what drives me absolutely bananas about T.J. Hawkinson. I loved him coming out. I do not think Minnesota does him a lot of favors. I would have liked him better staying in Detroit, especially now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's a lot. For me, there's not a lot of difference between him and Dallas Goedert, and I like the offense in Philly a lot better.
Okay. T.J. Hawkinson is he is a target monster. Can be, anyway. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's going to happen in Minnesota. I mean, we got to see it for, what was that, 10 weeks last year in Minnesota. And you're right. I mean, he did have that one game where he got 13 targets, over 100 yards, and scored 2 touchdowns.
His game logs in fantasy football always make me laugh. 4, 7, 12, 9, 38,
right.
12, 6, 2, 49 and a half. I'm good.
Right.
It's not consistent effort from a guy that I don't think he's special.
Mm-hmm. But his targets or his receptions go the way of his targets. See, if he was getting more reliable targets, then I think those games would be more replicable.
You got those in Detroit.
Replicable.
He was practically the only weapon in Detroit. He got inundated with targets.
Mm-hmm.
He was still inconsistent. He doesn't consistently get open. He doesn't consistently block well.
I mean, I'm just
he
looking,
is a super talented player.
I'm just looking at his stats, and it's a lot of, 8 out of 11, 8 out of 9. There was a couple of 4 out of 8s. But when he gets the targets, he reels them in. He does stuff.
And ask
with
yourself, okay, on a team in Detroit that was historically bad for his entire tenure, best receiver on the team doesn't consistently get targets. Why would that possibly be?
Well,
because he's not open.
Yeah, I mean, it's your job to get open as a tight end. Maybe he's just
and now with Justin Jefferson and a bunch of dudes that we probably be selling insurance in 3 years, I struggle to believe that he's going to get open consistently again.
Here it comes again. The hate on Jordan Addison.
I have no problem with Jordan Addison. It's the rest of the receivers that I don't like. KJ Osborne, he's great, isn't he?
He's a 3, and he's still a 3.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed his performance in Cats. Oh, wait, that's not the KJ Osborne we were talking about? Oops.
I don't even want to know why you know or think that there was somebody named KJ Osborne in Cats.
Because whoever I'm thinking of is about as relevant as KJ Osborne.
And number 7 on the top 13 tight ends.
This was the hardest part of the ranking for me because I wanted to have this guy one spot higher and I couldn't. Pat Freiermuth. Now, you want to talk about a guy that I don't think gets the love that he deserves for being as good as he is? I will say this clearly. To me, it's not close between Hockenson and Freiermuth. Not even close.
You got Pat head and shoulders above him.
Head and shoulders.
Okay.
Head and shoulders. He's younger and already better. And he's going to get better as time goes on, especially when he has realistic, honest-to-God NFL quarterback play. T.J. Hockenson had Matt Stafford for a slew of years and still couldn't produce at the level he was supposed to as a top 10 tight end. Pat Freiermuth, he did it with Ben. He did it with Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
Did it with Mitch Trubisky. And he will continue to do it. You said earlier there was a player that you have found yourself having in, I don't remember the number you said. I think it was 100% of leagues that you were drafting. I'm finding myself the same way with Pat Freiermuth.
With Pat Freiermuth.
I miss on the highest end guys, and I just go, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll wait till the middle. I'll get Pat Freiermuth, and I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. It has been a promising start to the career for him. I would like for him to score a few more touchdowns. Maybe that offense can make that happen this upcoming season.
Pittsburgh's offense, we would like all of them to score more touchdowns because they were poopy for a minute.
Yes.
I don't believe they are anymore. So the rest of the team's going to score more. I feel pretty good that Pat Freiermuth is going to be part of that.
All right, breakout year for Pat Freiermuth coming this year. According to the tight end whisperer, how about number 6?
Dallas Goedert. I don't think that he is that special. I think he is. I would say Goddard, Freiermuth, and Hockenson are very close talent-wise, but the production's been higher for Goddard more regularly, even with sometimes not as good a quarterback play. He's one of those that I never find a way that he ends up on teams of mine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he's one of those
the ham sandwich of tight ends.
He's one of those that gets drafted in the draft that I find myself in. If I haven't already gotten a tight end early, which I try to do these days, because I mean, the top of this list is where you want to be in fantasy football,
or the bottom,
it's more of a risk.
It's Ricky Bobby philosophy. I either want to be first or last.
Right. Dallas Goedert is one of those that's right in that, as you like to say, the meaty clacker region of this tight end position. And I'm never getting there because while you're going to spend your time on Pat Freiermuth and Dallas Goedert, I'm going to be snaking, a number 2 wide receiver from somebody.
Yeah, Freiermuth is going much later than Goddard currently. Not saying it's going to stay that way, but to me, Dallas Goedert is the I forgot to buy a gift, so I stopped at the Sevis and I got a drugstore toy to give to the child, and they're going to look at it and go, I don't know what to do with a wiffle ball bat, Greg. I don't think a lot of thought went into this. That's Dallas Goedert in a nutshell to me.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville top 13 tight ends for 2023 here on a Power Rankings Tuesday. Stick with us. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll give you the top 5.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up for tonight and into Wednesday with rain showers, thunderstorms in from the northwest. We're in the upper 60s here in the valley tonight. Chance for thunderstorms with heavy downpours Wednesday. High 83 degrees. Hopefully that will clean out some of the haze and smoke. Also, scattered thunderstorms Thursday, 84 degrees. Scattered storms Friday, high temps in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stopped 240 eastbound between I-40 and Brevard Road due to an accident. The roadway closed. 240 on the westbound side crawling between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue due to an accident. The right lane blocked. 26 westbound slowing approaching Long Shoals Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slow between Long Shoals Road to approaching Airport Road. 40 east and westbound near George's Branch Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road delays. Brevard Road northbound slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the North Carolina Arboretum. In Fairview, Charlotte Highway near Hollywood Road delays both directions. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by ComparionInsurance.com.
Like to shop local? Go to ComparionInsurance.com. Their agents are local insurance experts finding you the right insurance at the right price from national carriers. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents. Expert advice.
When you have trouble sleeping, it's tough. When kids have trouble sleeping...
Mom, I can't sleep. Dad, just one more story?
For nights like this, try Vicks Pure Z's Kids. Our great-tasting gummies are specially formulated for kids with a unique blend of botanicals and a low dose of melatonin to support their natural sleep cycle. Best of all, they're drug-free and non-habit forming. Help your child fall asleep naturally with Pure Z's Kids Gummies. Consult with a doctor before use. For ages 4 and up.
Dr. Conrad, after all night in the lab, I've cracked the formula for black titanium.
Go on.
It's the luxury of black, the power of titanium, the best odds at $300 and a top prize of $4 million, all in this scratch-off.
This is gonna be big.
So, am I getting a raise?
Let's see. New Black Titanium from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community. One that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
At Ingalls, we're all in for summer. We have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
What are you, a cop? It's ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. Live in the Ingalls studio. Top 13 tight ends for the 2023 NFL season here on this Power Rankings Tuesday. Don't forget, you want to get in on the Beer City's ultimate fantasy draft experience with us. The links to the contest are in the description of our YouTube video. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. But when you're there, go to the description, check out the links to the contest. We will host your fantasy draft. We will give you the red carpet treatment, just a fun little thing that you can all get in on. And while you're doing that, you can also throw in some bones for the Battle for the Belt competition. You can get in on that all in one fell swoop.
The existing packages actually include those things, and it tells you that in the description of the YouTube video.
Again, the proceeds from this go into Eblin Charity's St. Nicholas Project and Tools for Schools as well. The early entrance, the benefit, the dues that you pay for that, or the donations that you make for that, are going to go to the Tools for Schools school supply drive that we do with Eblin Charities each and every year. That's coming up real quick. I think it's like August 2nd this year is our actual drive where we'll be out on location and you'll be able to come see us and make your donations for the Tools for Schools. But to give the needy kids around our area school supplies, and then we'll switch gears and do the same thing that we did last year with the secondary pool of money going to the St. Nicholas Project that provides Christmas gifts for the needy families in our area. So please help us support a great cause in Eblin Charities and have a little fun with us, maybe win a belt or two, and just be able to talk all that smack to Flostradamus when he loses again.
Yeah, I mean, you can have the same level that Michael Meadows has over me, which is I took your belt away from you, you big mulleted moron.
So pay attention here. We got top 13 tight ends for the 2023 season, and we're into the territory of these are the guys that you need to try to snake away from the other guys in your league. Top 5 tight ends. Who's number 5?
I cannot figure out exactly what I want to do with this guy this year.
It's got to be Darren.
It is Darren Waller.
Darren Waller. Because I do the same thing.
I don't know that I feel better about him in New York than I did in Vegas. Do I think Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Derek Carr?
No.
No.
You shouldn't.
Do you have Devontae Adams on the other side of you?
Mm-mm.
No. Are you going to be on the field a crazy number of snaps because this team runs a lot and you couldn't block me? No. And yet, every time I look at his name, I go, this is the year he's going to burn people because he's going to fall and some intelligent individual is going to come swoop in and grab him, and it's going to go exactly how you want it to.
The biggest problem I have with Darren Waller is his injury history. He's missed 14 games in the last 2 years, and that has just been and that's the reason Vegas gave him the contract and then immediately turned around and went, you know what, we're good. We're good because he had the injury issues the year before.
Well, you also have to understand that had a lot to do with Josh McDaniels, too. Because he does not fit with Josh McDaniels.
True, but last year he missed 8 games, and they were like, you know what? Even though you're the highest, we made you the highest paid tight end of the league, we're getting out from under this because you don't fit our system, and it's just too much of an injury risk.
Well, they had tried to move him the year before. I don't hold last year against him. It's the year before that I'm a little, I'm a little shaky on.
Mm-hmm. He is the best deep threat at tight end in the league, in my opinion.
I'm gonna say something here, and it's gonna sound a little strange when it comes out of my mouth. I'm not sure he doesn't play wide receiver in New York.
I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you?
They'll continue to list him as a tight end. I'm not sure he doesn't play out wide and just become that matchup headache because the Giants have a bunch of receivers.
No good ones, but a bunch.
There you go. Like my dating record before I met HWA.
Right.
It's a slew of threes.
Cedric Tillman just got drafted, and he's the best wide receiver on that team.
That's a weird way to say Wan'Dale Robinson. But
is he back, though? Is he back from the injury from last year? Okay.
Yeah. And he'll play in the slot, and you still got Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton and all the guys I wanted to see go anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe in Waller this year. I really do.
I believe there's room for him to improve on what he's done over the last, 5 years since he's made his official recovery.
I don't know that we haven't seen the best of him. That's the reason I have him at 5 instead of at 4.
I doubt that we've seen the best of him, but you don't have much more chance. I don't feel like there's right because he's already 31, right?
Yes.
He's a little advanced age. You just think, oh, he just came onto the scene. Well, yeah, but you got to remember the years that he spent with Baltimore and the recovery process that he had to go through, and he's behind the 8 ball, as to, no pun intended, to get his career jump-started back in New York. I'm sorry. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Darren Waller at 5. How about number 4?
I'm always glad when you show people behind the curtain that I'm not as much a jerk as you think, and he is way more than you
Way
think.
more.
My number 4 is Kyle Pitts.
To me, this is self-explanatory.
He is the most talented tight end in the NFL, not named Travis Kelce.
I wish to God he had a quarterback.
I wish he played for any other team in the NFL. And if he did, he would be higher than this.
Except for Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Tampa's the one place he could go where it'd be like, okay, well, he's in the same spot.
Oh,
now.
awesome. You still don't have a quarterback. Great.
He got a raw deal going to the Atlanta Falcons, and I don't think it's getting any better for him. But still, he had a 1,000-yard season his rookie year. Last year, he had a pretty decent year, right?
He did. He has yet to be the just break on the scene. Wow, look how great this guy is. Do you know where he finished last year among tight ends in fantasy scoring?
I would say 6.
Now, I'm using standard leagues here because it really panders to my narrative more.
Okay.
At 6, you're too high.
Okay. Is it 16?
Too high.
26?
Too high.
30?
Too high.
Really?
33.
Did he miss that much time last year?
Not really. He missed 7 games.
Well, I mean, that's a lot.
He averaged 4 points a game.
Ugh.
4.
I had none of it last year, so I had to...
genuinely awful in that offense last year.
Well, I mean, that offense was terrible.
Exactly.
We can run the ball, that's it.
Exactly. And I feel like at some point you have to look at Drake London and Kyle Pitts and go, man, this is like having 2 Maseratis sitting in the driveway, and we got them up on cinder blocks.
You're right.
At some point, we got to put tires on them and let them go. So maybe I'm projecting because, look, I'm a Florida State guy that is this high on a Florida Gator. That should tell you just how talented he is. But, man, last year was bad.
I'm praying for Taylor Heineken. Yeah. Do you look at that the same way I do, the Atlanta situation, and go, they need to play Taylor Heineken?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't out on a limb by myself on that one.
No, I'll be honest with you. With Taylor Heineke, I think I could make the argument they win that division. I
agree.
Still think I would take New Orleans, but it would be because your team's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
I think Carolina's going to start really slow.
Yes.
And I could easily see Taylor Heineke just being a mediocre quarterback with a good defense and those weapons and that running game, and they're fine.
All right, we're on the same page on that one. Number 3, top 13 tight end.
Marcus Andrews III, Esquire.
And this comes down to the blocking, the fact that he doesn't do great at that.
No, it comes down to the fact that there's, to me, 1 and 2, so long as one of them doesn't lose a limb, is not going to change. I don't care if one of them lives hurt. He's still a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark Andrews is just not as complete of a tight end as him. He's still 3, and to me, he's 3 by a lot.
Yes.
Because there is a huge drop-off from 3 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Not in talent, but in total package. Because Mark Andrews could lead the league in tight end scoring. And if Kyle Pitts does it, it's because not only did Desmond Ridder get stranded on a desert island, it would be because they replaced Taylor Heineke with somebody that won a fan contest.
Speaking of the total package, let's go to number 2.
Lex Luger. Oh, sorry. George Kittle. This is all injuries. He would threaten Travis Kelce much more if he could stop getting hurt. Because I know this is going to sound like complete lunacy, I think he's more talented than Travis Kelce.
I mean,
if you took me pillar to post, I think George Kittle is if we graded this like we were grading baseball players and did he's the 70 which is the stupidest. Baseball. All right, do better. I tried to cover your draft, and you made my head hurt.
Did you really?
I mean, okay.
I was going to say, you didn't
watch
watch a single second of that draft.
Good God, no. I would watch the Bachelor draft before I would watch the MLB draft, but they kept saying these numbers that I didn't understand in articles, and then I had to Google it. But if you did that,
like WAR and Slash and
no,
all
like
that kind of
70
stuff.
tool, 80 tool, it's where it's a rating, and it's stupid. But if you did that, I think George Kittle would rate higher than Travis Kelce in a lot of things. Problem is he's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is he doesn't have Pat Mahomes playing quarterback. The problem is he doesn't play in the most prodigious offense of the last 15 years. But in terms of just raw talent, George Kittle is not of this world.
No, he's absolutely up there, but he's not number one. Because number one is and will forever be.
It's the guy that's been on the screen the entire time we've been talking about this, Travis Kelce. And no, I don't think this is the year he regresses.
The guy's a machine.
If you watched, and look, I know this might be a stretch, but if you watched him in the match, that dude doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon.
No.
He is still in peak physical condition. With two of the greatest basketball players in the world, the greatest quarterback in the world, and himself, he looked like a man standing next to three little boys.
Mm-hmm.
Not because they're not in great shape, because he is that much.
7 years in a row, Travis Kelce has over 1,000 yards receiving, which is insane to think about. He's got double-digit touchdowns every other year for the last 6 years, which I guess maybe to fantasy guys, if you want to go by the patterns, this is going to be an off year. He may not have double-digit touchdowns this year. Because, I mean, for real, he's gone 10, 5, 11, 9, 12. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And I think that puts him, I mean, his career has put him on the Mount Rushmore for tight ends, my opinion.
No doubt. And he has a chance to be the greatest one that ever lived.
Yep. And this train ain't coming to an end. I mean, it's coming to an end soon. Yeah, I can't expect Travis Kelce to be, 37 years old and still doing this.
Tony Gonzalez was pretty good, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure he was any better of an athlete than Travis Kelce is.
Year 34. This will be for his age 34 season for Travis Kelce, and he continues to be the number one tight end in football. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville Offseason Files. Continue next with the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop 240 eastbound between I-40 and Bavard Road due to an accident. 240 westbound crawling between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. An accident here, right lane blocked. Future 26 eastbound very busy between Broadway Street and 240. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Again, 26 eastbound slows approaching Bavard Road. 26 on the eastbound side is slow between I-40 and the French Broad River.
This report is sponsored by ComparionInsurance.com.
Like to shop local? Go to ComparionInsurance.com. Their agents are local insurance experts finding you the right insurance at the right price from national carriers. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents. Expert advice.
O'Reilly Auto Parts provides more than just the right parts for your repair. Our professional parts people can also offer free check engine light diagnosis. We can scan your vehicle and provide a list of possible fixes. Find the right parts for you or recommend a great local repair shop. Don't ignore your check engine light. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. The 35th season of Downtown After 5, presented by Prestige Subaru, returns this Friday. July's headliner features 6 Grammy-nominated musicians, and the sounds of New Orleans funk will fill the air as The Rumble, featuring Chief Joseph Boudreaux Jr., hits the stage. The party gets started just after 5 with Asheville's own Funkin' Around. All the festivities take place on North Lexington Avenue. Food trucks and local beer available as well. Downtown After 5 is always free and proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. a premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
At Ingalls Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The original Tough Man contest hits the ring at Silverado's in Black Mountain July 28th and 29th. See the toughest fighters go toe-to-toe in live action. Tickets are $20 in advance and $30 the day of the show. The original Tough Man competition, July 28th and 29th at Silverado's in Black Mountain. Ringside and VIP tickets are available. Get yours now at silveradoswnc.com. silveradoswnc.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
Back in the Sportsocracy, and we continue with our off-season files. Kansas City Chiefs, they are your reigning and defending Super Bowl champions. And will they be able to go back-to-back? That's the main question everybody has. And I look at this team and I go, I don't really see any reason why you shouldn't go back-to-back. There was nothing that changed for this team in the offseason to me that was drastic. I mean, is Orlando...
The offensive line.
Is Orlando Brown or is Donovan Smith a major step down from Orlando Brown at left tackle? Yes. Yes, he is.
Yes. I was going to say something really mean right there, but I chose not to.
Yes, he is. But Donovan was pretty good for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they had a decent offensive line. Like, his horrible year was last year when obviously the bloodletting had happened with the offensive line.
Going from Orlando Brown to Donovan Smith is like in accepting a wedding invitation where you put "and guest" and you write in your fiance's name. She leaves you and you bring your cat. Oh, not only is this a huge step down, but now we might think you're absolutely out of your mind.
Right. It can hurt, but what I'm saying is you got the best out of Donovan Smith in his career when he was with a good offensive line. He finds himself in that same situation where he's now the weak link again, but maybe that lifts him up.
Oh, it'll certainly make him better. It also means that virtually every blitz is going to come off the blind side.
Maybe. Sure.
Juwan Taylor, much better pass blocker than he is run blocker. So I do have some reservations about where this puts this offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do think you're going to be much better on the right side because Juwan Taylor is much better than the combination of Lucas Niang and whoever else you played over there last year.
Right.
And I'm just not sure it matters because you're talking about the talent on the line propping up Donovan Smith. You want to know what props him up more than anything? The fact that 15's the one that's throwing it back behind
kidding.
him. And 87 is out there catching passes. If I have any reservation, because I think this might be the best the defense has been in a handful of years.
Could be, but I still don't think you did anything great with your pass rush.
No, but you've got all these young guys that you drafted that are getting older.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You're going to improve at least a little bit just because everybody's maturing. The thing that scares me, you now have absolutely no receiver that I trust. You have nobody that I legit trust.
Mm-hmm. We've made fun of Marquez Valdez-Scantling for years.
Well, you should.
Because his hands aren't great. His speed's great, but the hands
aren't great. It's like saying my hair's not great. You did everything right, but you showed up with unkempt beard, the
Right.
mullet.
But Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney are two of the. You talked earlier about weapons, right? We were talking about Deebo Samuel and being that weapon. I see both Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore as the next generation of that. They are just weapons
They're
that you
both
can use.
So little though. For that, I mean, just think about what Samuel. He's 6'1", 215. Neither one of these guys are sniffing $190.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking around going, man, you got just a mess of little tiny dudes, don't you? And it does scare me. That part does worry me. Because when you have to make a play, I don't know who it is you trust outside of Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you know how I felt about Juju Smith-Schuster. And now I fully understand why you didn't pay him, because apparently he's not even healthy in New England. So I get how we got here. But it does make me nervous.
It doesn't make me nervous at all because 15's the one throwing the ball. I felt that way last year.
I could play receiver for Kansas City and probably catch 50 passes, 500 yards.
Right. I felt that way last year about Kansas City, that they could possibly take a step back, and they didn't. And after I watched that quarterback documentary on Netflix, it made me appreciate Patrick Mahomes even more than I already did, and I felt like I was head over heels in love with the guy to begin with. But he doesn't need it.
His wife doesn't appear to me. If she called him, I started that. Whatever day you said it. Was it yesterday? Man, my days have blended together.
Yesterday.
She called him bro like 8 times, and I went, don't bro me if you don't know me.
Yeah, she's not
how you going to finish that sentence? I know what you want to say, but you're not opposed to.
I really don't care, because you have your three, right?
There you go. Just move right past it.
You're going into the season with MVS and Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore. Those are your three. But then you've got good, I'm not going to say good, but you've got guys that you can get the ball to in certain scenarios. What?
If you had to hedge your bets,
3 deep behind that?
If you had to hedge your bets on any Kansas City Chief receiver, who is it?
Hedge my bets for what?
In terms of one of these guys is going to break out, who is it? Because I guarantee you our answers are different.
I mean, it would probably be Kadarius.
That's the one everybody else is on.
Yeah.
It ain't the one I'm on.
Are you on Justin Watson?
I am not. I am on Richie James.
Richie James, all right.
He was that good with Daniel Jones. What do you think he's going to be with Patrick Mahomes?
And see, that's kind of where I was going with this. Like, you got Richie James, you got Justin Watson, who was fine in spots last year. You want to talk about a guy with some size. Justin Watson is the big guy in the room, right? 6'3", 225 pounds or whatever he is. I mean, he's pretty good.
He's fine.
Yeah. But you can go beyond that to young guys who are just unproven.
I mean, look, they're throwing a lot of receivers against the wall. You see what sticks.
Yep.
But I still don't see a guy.
Kansas City, Super Bowl or bust. Once again, deal with it. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up for tonight and into Wednesday with rain showers, thunderstorms in from the northwest. We're in the upper 60s here in the valley tonight. Chance for thunderstorms with heavy downpours Wednesday. High 83 degrees. Hopefully that'll clean out some of the haze and smoke. Also, scattered thunderstorms Thursday, 84 degrees. Scattered storms Friday, high temps in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
If summer is heating up your hiring needs, then you need Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Sponsor your first job and get hiring today by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
The Sportsocracy.
That's the way I feel when my team wins. And if I want to jump up and down when my team wins, and if I want to hug my players when they do good, I'm going to do it.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lacey. First lawsuit filed against former Northwestern football coach Pat Fitzgerald and members of the school's leadership seeking damages from the hazing scandal. The former player, who filed anonymously, alleges the program and its leaders were negligent in allowing hazing inside the team's locker room. His attorneys expect additional football players and other Northwestern athletes to join the lawsuit. Top NFL running backs like Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry took to social media to rally around the Giants' Saquon Barkley, Raiders' Josh Jacobs, and Cowboys' Tony Pollard. The trio failed to reach long-term agreements before yesterday's deadline. The NFL sending a clear message about running backs, notes ESPN's Kimberly Martin.
There is a cap on what we think your value is. On the field, we will lean on you left and right. Toss you the ball, hand you the ball, you can win games for us. But when it comes down to what we are willing to pay and how we want to divvy up our money, your position, we don't value it.
Kimberly Martin on First Take. The group of Rory McIlroy, Jon Rahm, and Justin Rose headlined the British Open pairings this week. They tee off just before 10 a.m. Eastern on Thursday.
When you're trying to hire, all that searching, screening, and interviewing can become its own job. You need Indeed, the end-to-end hiring solution that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, money. That's money. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Green, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
It is ESPN Asheville, and this is the Sportsocracy coming to you live from the Ingles studio. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 ESPN Asheville and the Sportsocracy. Heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. You want to get your comments in on the discussions of the day? Then the YouTube stream is the way to do that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube/The Sportsocracy and subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat. Don't forget the links are in the description of the YouTube video for the ultimate fantasy draft experience. Our contest here. Look, it does cost money to get into the contest, but all
it's
that
for charity.
Right, that money goes to Eblin Charities for the St. Nicholas Project and for the Tools for Schools school supply drive that we do at the beginning or right about this time. Run up to the start of the school year, which parents is coming quick and fast and in a hurry. We're only a couple of weeks away from the actual Tools for Schools school supply drive. Mm-hmm. And then it's just 3 weeks after that, I believe, that local schools start back. So not much time left in the summer here. Get in on it while you can. That sounded like you were
counting down to me, but
I 100% am. Anything that I can do to get my children out of my house and back into the school is good for me.
I love how he said that at 5:03, right as they're probably getting in the car to transport somewhere.
Anything to get those guys out of my house. All right. Top of the third hour means it's daily draft time. We've been talking about fantasy football. You want to get in on the contest. Again, the links are in the description of the YouTube video. Today's daily draft, fantasy football players that we are targeting more than others in this season. I have the first pick, since you had first pick yesterday, Jeremy.
Correct.
And I'm going to go with, I'm going to start at the top and go with a guy that he's going too late in drafts, but it's not like one of these drastically late kind of things. It's Nick Chubb. He's going at the back end of the first round, to me, which is ridiculous. He should be at least in the middle of the first round. And I've seen where he lasts a couple of, 5 picks into the second round, which is still dumb to me. He is RB what in the NFL to you right now? 2, 3? He's got to be in that discussion.
Are you talking about just sheer talent, or are you talking about from a fantasy standpoint?
Well, let's go from the fantasy standpoint since we're talking about.
He's 3 for me.
Okay. And he is currently going as RB8?
Yes. Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you, he was going to be my one. For once, we were on the exact same page with this.
Nick Chubb is being underrated.
Well, it's not that he's being underrated. It's that people think now with Deshaun Watson and
Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore. Yeah, I get it.
They ain't going to pass that much more.
He's still the backbone of this offense. He's still the motor that's going to get it running.
I'll be on a shadow of a doubt. And now he has no Kareem Hunt to threaten any of the touches. I mean, he was 5 last year.
Yeah.
In standard leagues.
By the way, check the depth chart, ladies and gentlemen. Should anything happen, all I'm saying is, should anything happen, God forbid, to Nick Chubb, never want that to happen. I'm right now saying all my prayers in my head because he's my boy. But if something did happen to him, late in your draft, you might want to consider throwing a bone to Jerome Ford because he's the number 2.
Yep. I will pass.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
even in a deep draft, you're not throwing a bone at the backup, the number 1 backup in a run-heavy offense?
Maybe in a really deep one.
That's what I'm saying.
The only problem is that I'm looking at him going, man, if something happens, you got some sweet white helmets now. Those are cool. That's going to be the highlight of your year.
Sweet.
You didn't like them, did you?
It's lazy. It's lazy.
What do you mean it's lazy?
The Cleveland Browns released their all white uniforms,
which
today.
are
they're fine.
Fire.
They're good. It's nice.
There's the
best.
It's
a clean look.
That's the best jersey the Cleveland Browns have ever had, and it's not even close.
Sure.
And you still don't like it.
I know, because first off, your colors are terrible. Second off, you have a brand new logo. Use it.
What? Why? Why must we put the dog? Your Georgia Bulldogs don't even put the dog on the side of their helmet.
No, but there's a G on it. Cleveland doesn't have anything on their helmets, and to me, that's
clean.
Lazy.
It's clean. It's classic. I like it. All right,
moving on.
Well, you took my first choice.
Good. It's always a good start when I know I could dip into Jeremy's list.
You took my one, and I don't love that. So I'm going to stay on the high side too, and I'm going to disclose something that is going to be in the Mullet Man and the Canadan Fantasy Draft Kit that if you're involved in our draft contest, you get for the low price of free because you've already paid for it with your lovely donation to Eblin Charities.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to sound strange for a guy that's already going pretty high. I just don't think he's going high enough.
Okay.
Pat Mahomes.
All right.
How high would you take Patrick Mahomes in a fantasy draft? I'm talking
standard,
normal,
PPR?
normal quarterback scoring. How high would you take him?
3rd round.
If weird way to say long? 5th. I'd take him in the 1st round, and I wouldn't think about it.
Really?
Not for a 10th of a second would I even think about it.
Interesting.
Let's play a fun game. Other than Josh Allen, how many players at the quarterback position did not get outscored by at least 2 points a game by Pat Mahomes last year?
Are there any?
Oh, you want to hear the list again? How many did he not outscore by 100? There actually are some on that list.
4.
Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow. In the message, repeat the line. So what you're telling me is outside of the other 3, one who has an injury past, the other 2 who run all the time, I'm almost guaranteed that I have a 5-point advantage the second I set my lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going in the middle to back half of the 2nd round. Yep, that's fine. I'm going to do that. Oh, and by the way, I don't think they're going to be as good running the ball this year because now I have 2 tackles that don't do that particularly well. The 3 in the middle, that's fine. You now have 2 tackles that do not run block well at all.
Right.
And the AFC is evil.
Okay.
You don't think they're going to get in some shootouts? You don't think this offense may put up more passing yards than it did last year?
Possible.
I'll be honest with you. when I set the projection for the Kansas City Chiefs and what that offense was going to score in fantasy football, I had to double-check my math twice.
Because you thought it was
Because
wrong?
the number I saw next to Pat Mahomes' name was so unbelievably high that I thought I had made a equation error. In fantasy football, there are only a handful of players that I would take ahead of Pat Mahomes. Now, get a read on your league. If you don't have to take him in the first round, don't. But if I'm picking 12-13 and I start Nick Chubb, Pat Mahomes, you're in bad shape. You're off to a poor start because I feel like I already have a gigantic leg up on you.
Right.
And I'll get mocked for it because on my sheet it says one of them should go before 20. Well, your sheet's stupid. Okay? Your sheet is stupid.
I normally will not pull the trigger on a quarterback before the third round.
I don't see a way now that I don't. I don't see a way that I don't take one high. Because and now just for posterity's sake, I told you who the top 4 was. Let's see how many guesses it takes you to get 5.
Number 5 in fantasy football last year?
Behind Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Burrow. Who was 5?
Fields?
No, he was 6.
Herbert?
He was 11. Jared Goff was 10. Daniel Jones was 9. Trevor Lawrence was 8. Kirk Cousins was 7. I'll give you all of that.
Say Kirk.
I'll give you everything I just said, and I still don't think you'll get this right.
Trick question, right? Geno Smith. Yeah.
That is correct.
And that's what we call not replicable.
You're more convinced that's not replicable than I am.
Really? You think he could be a top 6
I think he'd be a
quarterback
top
again?
10 quarterback again.
Okay.
5 is probably difficult. Now, the number, how many points he scored, that could be replicable. I don't know that he can finish as high as he did.
Interesting. All right, so you're going Pat Mahomes 1.
I am chasing Pat Mahomes adamantly.
All right, who else are you higher on than the industry?
All right, I'm going to walk you through this and see if you can get to who I'm talking about. If I'm a receiver who now has a much better quarterback than I had before, my running back may or may not be in some trouble, and my defense is not as good as it should be, does that not mean that I should go pretty high? Oh, and by the way, I don't trust another receiver on my team.
Who are you talking about?
Chris Olave. Who would you rather have, T. Higgins or Chris Olave?
Olave.
It's Olave for me. It's not even close.
Well, because he's the one. He's the
but
one
you're in a much pass happier offense in Cincinnati. You got to be careful doing what you just did.
Sure. But, I mean, I would look at that and go, target share, sure. Olave has the edge. I don't know about points-wise, though.
I adamantly believe Chris Olave is going to finish as a wide receiver 1 in 2023.
Okay.
Which means he will be a top 12 wide receiver in the NFL. Because I don't believe in that defense, because I don't believe in Dennis Allen, which means I believe that you're going to have some more of those fourth quarter theatrics from Derek Carr. And Chris Olave is the only receiver on this team I trust. Rashid Shaheed, yeah, I've heard that. I got it. You want to take a late flyer on him? More power to you. I think he's fine. He will be on the sleepers list. But Chris Olave is the one I trust. And right now, you're getting him in the back end of the 4th to beginning of the 5th, which is stupid.
All right, my next pick on the fantasy football targets that we have going into this season. Who are we higher on than the rest of the industry? I've got that one. I'm going to save that for later.
Oh, is that somebody you don't think I'll take?
Yes. It is somebody that I don't think you'll take.
You better be real sure, because my list looks a little different than what you would think.
I believe I'm going to have to go with Jameson Williams. I went deep diving on this one because everyone is letting him fall way too far, in my opinion. I get he's going to miss 6 games. I get it. But he's going to come back and be the number one wide receiver in that offense, right? We think. Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously,
Amon-Ra St. Brown's the one.
He's the number one target, but he's going to be playing that, the X role? He'll be the...
Amon-Ra plays out of the slot.
First deep look. No, what I'm saying is Jameson will be. Jameson will be the first deep look. Amon-Ra will get what's left over, correct, when he comes back?
No, I do not see.
You don't think so?
Good Lord, no.
Everything goes through Amon-Ra?
Amon-Ra's a better receiver than Jameson Williams. And to me, it's not really all that close.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have no qualm with what you just did. I have also been absolutely burnt by these. He's suspended 6 weeks. What is he actually going to be? I've been burnt by this so many times. I did it with Deshaun Watson last year. Not to a high degree. It's just burned me so many times.
Right.
It takes several weeks for these guys to get ingratiated back into the team. And how long can I keep this guy? That's the problem you run into with that, is that you almost handicap yourself by extension of having to carry him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you've got an IR spot and he's eligible for it,
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Most of them he is not.
Right.
Because he's suspended, you knew that going in.
You're not taking him to be your 1 or your 2 or even your 3, but you can get him at a value where most people aren't looking at him for their 5 or 6. And you can end up by the end of the season, I feel like more often than not, when he comes back and he gets into the groove, he's going to be tier 1, tier 2 wide receiver. And you will have gotten that in the 8th, 9th round.
And see, for me, that's too rich for me.
Really?
That's too rich for me. That's a guy I'm having to carry that does absolutely nothing for me for 6 weeks. I mean, this is just on the list that I'm looking at. Hollywood Brown is in the same neighborhood. I'd rather have Hollywood Brown. It's not close.
Really?
Not even
with Colt
close.
McCoy?
Don't care. Because there's nothing else on that team, and they are going to get their brains beat out routinely. I'd rather have Kadarius Toney. Not a lot.
Not a lot left.
Might take a stab on Michael Thomas.
What's his ADP right now?
James Williams.
According to Fantasy Pros, what's his ADP?
He's at 113.
Because my screen's locked up here.
113, which would put him just inside the 9th round, which for me is a little too high.
That's too much?
Really? That's a little too high. If you're going to miss 6 games, he's going ahead of Elijah Moore. Which one are you taking?
I'm taking Elijah.
I'm taking Elijah Moore, and I don't think about it twice.
Mm-hmm.
Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, no, I'd rather have Jameson at the end of the season because I don't know. I don't trust Odell. I don't trust how long he could stay healthy.
I'm fine with it. Yeah, I'll trust Odell Beckham Jr.
That seems crazy to me. A guy who's 100% healthy but is going to miss the first 6 games, you'd rather take the gamble on Odell, who could be gone by week 4. Injury history-wise.
Anybody could be gone by week 4. He's had 1 injury, and he didn't play for a year. I got news for you. They ran him through a workout before they signed him to that deal. Sure. He is more healthy than you're letting on, at the very least.
Mm-hmm. But snake bitten, and that's kind of my problem.
Because he had one injury. Other than that, he was historically reasonably healthy for a receiver. I mean, he missed a game here and there, but it was never extensive. And yeah, he's an older guy. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
He's also the one. Unquestioned one. But there might be another guy on my list that could challenge some of that.
Well, we're up against the clock here, so we got to take a break. We'll take a quick break. I'll come back and make my next pick and the fantasy football players that we are targeting for 2023.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is tough. 240 eastbound between I-40 and Brevard Road due to an accident. 240 westbound very busy between Tunnel Road and Montford Avenue. Future 26 eastbound crawling between Broadway Street and 240. 26 westbound is stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slows between Brevard Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound slow between Sweeten Creek Road and Brevard Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road, continuing to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Heavy delays north and southbound. An accident reported on New Leicester Highway westbound at Ascension Drive in North Asheville. Merriman Avenue at Edgewood Road delays both directions. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
The Dell Technologies Black Friday and July event starts now with savings on select PCs powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Plus, get deals on select accessories and free shipping on everything. Save now by calling 877-ASK-DELL.
Foo Fighters,
Fall Out Boy,
Kelly Clarkson,
Kane Brown,
Lil Wayne,
Lenny Kravitz,
Miguel,
Public Enemy,
Sheryl Crow,
Travis Scott,
Tim McGraw,
TLC,
30 Seconds to Mars.
Get your tickets now.
Our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
AXS.com.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Dr. Conrad, after all night in the lab, I've cracked the formula for black titanium.
Go on.
It's the luxury of black, the power of titanium, the best odds at $300 and a top prize of $4 million, all in this scratch-off.
This is gonna be big.
So, am I getting a raise?
Let's see.
New Black Titanium from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Daily draft time. We're talking about the fantasy football players that Jeremy and I are higher on this year than it seems like everybody else is. Started out the draft with Nick Chubb. That was my number one pick, stolen from Jeremy Green, who went with Patrick Mahomes at 1. Then he goes Chris Olave. I came back with Jameson Williams. Now it's my turn for the third pick, and I am...
I feel reasonably sure I know who this is.
This is my new hill I'm going to die on. Yeah, because after I said I can wait on him, and you said, oh, change my list, and now it made me nervous, and so now I got to go with the guy that I was going to go with last time.
He wasn't coming back to you, just so you know.
Yeah, it's Miles Sanders, the running back for the Carolina Panthers. I'm absolutely drunk on him. He's my next one. I've been a Miles Sanders fan since he came into the league. And now he goes to the Carolina Panthers, where I feel like he is just set up for success. That offensive line is going to be able to open some holes for him. He's with a rookie quarterback, so they're going to run the ball. And there's no one else on the depth chart that is going to get significant tote behind him. To me, he was a top 10 running back last year in fantasy football, and I think he will be again.
Not in PPR, he wasn't. He was 15.
Okay, 15.
And that's why. You rolled your eyes at me. But the problem I have with Miles Sanders is he has now gone to a team where nobody in this backfield could catch a cold if you drenched them in water and stuck them in a freezer. He can't either. I don't see any way that he gets more. You and I talked about this before the show. If you look back on Frank Reich, you're going to see roughly 100 carries from Chuba Hubbard. You're going to see roughly 80 to 90 from somebody else. Somebody has to catch passes. Now, if they think that's Miles Sanders, you'll be right. The problem is he's averaged 2 catches a game his entire career.
Right.
So I don't know that that's going to be as good as you think. Now, he's safe, and he's the last real startable running back to me. Everybody else is, once you get past him, you get into the Rashad White and a bunch of other guys that, well, they could be good or they could be awful.
And maybe that's why I feel like everybody else is too down on him, because when I get to that point in the draft, it's 5th, 6th round. I'm looking at the running backs that are left because I've already got my 2 heavy hitters. In some cases, I've already got 3 really good ones. And I go, there's nothing left after that. Miles Sanders is the last best option you have when you go through a fantasy draft. Miles Sanders compared to those names that you just listed, it's Miles Sanders, and it's not even close to me.
I would agree. I agree on that part.
He's currently down at RB21, and I feel like he's got a great opportunity to finish higher than that. Am I saying he's better than Joe Mixon? No. But he could have a better season than Joe Mixon. And that's what I'm gambling on when I'm and here again, I'm taking him as my RB3 or 4. I'm not relying on him to be my 1 or 2. He's going to be the possible difference maker if there's an injury on my team, or should everybody else get injured around the league, I'm just going to be able to hammer you with running backs.
I am going to take a guy that we have already talked about once on this here program, and you're going to say I'm crazy because he was awful last year. But I don't think he's going to be forever.
Okay.
It's Kyle Pitts. I'll ride the Lightning again. I'll do it. I want to dance. I'm ready to get hurt again. Let's go.
All right. I get you, but I'm interested where.
Where would I take him?
Where would you take him?
Currently, you have to take him the back of the 6th, the beginning of the 7th, and I would do it, and I wouldn't think twice about it. On the off chance, to be really honest with you, just on the off chance of, hey, maybe they get smart and they realize that Desmond Ridder is bad at football. And Taylor Heineke couldn't physically be any worse of a thrower of the football because he has started for more than 5 seconds with another NFL franchise.
Yes.
I'll take the risk. I cannot look, I think Arthur Smith is a smart guy. I can't believe that you walked out of last year and went, yeah, it was fine. It was fine that Kyle Pitts went, I don't know, 6 weeks without more than 3 catches in a game. Yeah, it's fine. Let's just, you know what? Let's run the veer. Let's call Lou Holt, see if he wants to join the staff, see if we can't run the triple option.
There's no better way to play football.
There's no better way to play football. That's just true football at its finest. I just physically can't believe it'll happen again, and recency bias is going to push him down. I think Kyle Pitts is actually going to fall further than this.
Okay.
Because you're early in the process, and Dallas Goedert and Darren Waller are right behind him in ADP, and Evan Ingram is not that far off. I'm not sure they don't all 3 pass him before it's all said and done. And if that's the case, I'll have him everywhere. You let me snake Kyle Pitts in the end of the 7th round, and I'm going to laugh a lot. And I'll take it all the way to the back. And it may start poorly. I have no idea. I just have a funny feeling that Arthur Smith is too smart to allow Desmond Ridder to completely typhoon their
progression,
their playoff chances.
Yeah.
In that same range, might take these two guys back to back. It's Brandon Ayuk. I am here telling you that this is the first time I say this name. And whether you follow our TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, radio, you see me in a bar, you read a note that I slide you at a restaurant, I am going to say Brandon Ayuk's name no less than 417,000 times over the next 5 months. Because I fully believe he is going to finish as a top 15 receiver in this league, because I fully believe Sam Darnold is going to be the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. And I don't care about Whittle Tiny Block Putty. Mm-hmm. And I don't care about Whittle ineffective Trey Lance. Because I have Sam Darnold with a competent quarterback behind a good offensive line with good weapons. Oh, yeah, and a really good defense. And Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle are all three made out of popsicle sticks. The only one that's not is Brandon Ayuk. And that is why if we were playing blackjack right now, I would be taking quarters out of my pocket to throw them in the middle and go, do it. Do it. I dare you.
Brandon Ayuk,
I
like that
King
one.
Ace, and you're doomed.
I like that one. All right, my next pick for fantasy football targets, who are we higher on for the 2023 season than the rest of the industry? This is a polarizing name.
Oh, boy.
But it's Dak Prescott. Just hear me out.
Did you see Cowboy Zach Ertz's name and your brain broke?
No, hear me out here. Dak Prescott, he's not the greatest of quarterbacks, obviously. He has his issues. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He won't miss games again this year. He missed, 4 or 5 of them last year. But with the addition of Brandon Cooks, and I'm not real sure what to believe about Mike McCarthy taking over the play calling there. Because they say they want to run the ball a lot, which they're gonna. But is it going to hurt Dak Prescott that much? When they see what he can do with CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup as the three, I feel like this is going to be a year where we look back and go, yeah, Dak Prescott was a little underrated going into this year. You don't believe any of that?
Nope. How do I say this nicely? You remember in Billy Madison where he rants for 3 solid minutes about, I don't remember what it was about, and the principal looks at him and goes, that might be the stupidest thing I've ever heard. There was nothing even close to a conscious thought, and we're all dumber for having heard it. I'm not that far. I can't physically believe. Okay, let me walk this down a different level.
Okay.
How much better can Dak Prescott be than he has been statistically? Not as a quarterback. Stats are all you care about in fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
How much better can he be than he has been in the past few years?
That is the question everybody wants to know.
The defense is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I now believe you have a legit high-end running game with Tony Pollard because I think he is exponentially better than Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay.
In the last 5 years that Dak Prescott's been in this league, he missed games in 2 of these seasons. The 3 full seasons, his attempts were 526, 596, 596. Is it going to be higher this year or lower?
Lower.
He's never been a top 10 quarterback outside of one time. Now, the Ezekiel Elliott thing, maybe him not being there to be the goal line, you see more of those, we punch it in with a boot or something like that from the 3-yard line.
Maybe so.
I don't think Brandon Cooks has anything to do with that. Losing Dalton Schultz hurts because that was the red zone guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love this Cowboys team. I hate all of them from a fantasy standpoint. Outside of Tony Pollard. He's the only one. CeeDee Lamb, I'm not as high on him as you are. Dak Prescott, I'm not as high on him as you are. Brandon Cooks, By the time you're doing that, I'm probably already 18 beers deep, and I don't even know drafting.
I don't even care.
I think I took Randy Moss one time, and it was a lot more recently than you wanted to. So I can't get there. I understand where you're coming from. Of now we add that extra target. Now there's the deep threat. Now there's somebody else to worry about. I got Gallup. I got Cooks. I got CeeDee Lamb.
Because I'm thinking now.
I get all of
now
those
with
things.
all of that, I think Dak can be back to 30 touchdown guy.
It's the game script that I cannot figure out. This defense is too good with Stephon Gilmore to get in these shootouts that you've been getting in over the last few years. And you said Mike McCarthy. I actually think it helps. The more I'm thinking about it, I actually think it helps them from getting into those shootouts. Kellen Moore would go through extended periods of time where it was almost like he forgot he had running backs. I don't think Mike McCarthy's going to do that. Solely because I've seen him do it before, and I would like to think that somebody would learn from their mistakes.
My question is, how big of a role?
Super outthinking this.
How big of a role does Deuce Vaughn play? That's my question, because he's the 2, right? He'll be the backup eventually. Because as much as I love him, it's not Rico Dowdle.
No.
And I can't think of who else would fill that role.
Who else could it be?
Right, because here the thought about Tony Pollard has been, we don't know if he can be the guy, that he can do all of the carries, that he could take on the workload. He's coming off a broken leg. They got to have something else. They got to have somebody else in that backfield to take some of the
Davis
pressure
and
off.
Ronald Jones are the other running backs on the roster.
Okay, forget those guys. So is it Deuce Vaughn or Rico Dowdle?
I don't sleep on Malik Davis because he could be the spellback.
Maybe
but,
so.
But even then, I think it's Tony Pollard. And the game script with Dallas it really bothers me of how is he supposed to be better from an opportunity standpoint that he's been in the past.
Yep.
Like I said, I get what you're saying. That's the reason I went down the Billy Madison route. Is I'm not to that point.
I'm not telling you you're stupid, but you're close.
You say things sometimes that make me recite that in my head as you're doing it. I understand your thought process.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you another one for my last pick.
Oh, God. It's almost like I challenged him. Now
you know who it is.
Now he's going to say the stupidest thing he could possibly say.
You know who it is.
It scares me that I don't.
It's Mike Evans. I am sick and tired of the Mike Evans hatred. I get that Baker Mayfield sucks, okay? I get it. Mike Evans, there is a reason that he has 9 straight seasons of over 1,000 yards. And it's not going to end this year.
He also has 9 straight seasons of not having a quarterback that needs to have a booster seat to eat in a big boy restaurant. You know that I was trying to be nice. You know the thing I said about Billy Madison? Just replay that.
Yep.
Okay. Because you're taking this the wrong way. And I know that, we've had this conversation so many times that I've dedicated it to memory. The other is how you just said that. It's not Mike Evans' hate. That's not it. We are not hating on Mike Evans. We all know he a dog. He been a dog forever. The only problem is that Baker Mayfield is as bad of an NFL quarterback as I have ever seen. If you could resurrect the career of Johnny Manziel, I would play him in an NFL game before I would play Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
Then you go down the rabbit hole of looking at historically what Baker has done. He has been a nightmare for the number one solution in his offense. And it's going to happen again. Now, all of that being said, my prevailing argument with you on this is and will continue to be, just look at wide receivers. Who is going in front of him that you're supposed to take him in front of? I am looking at the ADP from Fantasy Pros.
Okay.
You tell me when I get to one that you would take him in front of, and I already know that one of them is going to be. I get it. We're going to argue about it. It's fine. Because a couple of them, I would agree. There's just not many of them. Christian Kirk.
No.
No shot. Drake London.
Yes.
That's the one that I would agree with you on. Chris Godwin.
Yes.
I would not, because Chris Godwin is the one that plays out of the slot. It's easier for a short quarterback to get passes to a quarterback in the slot.
I get it.
Christian Watson.
Yes.
No shot. Mike Williams, Christian Watson's the one that he likes to run little bubble screens and things like that. So you got a quarterback that doesn't throw the ball well downfield. He's going to get inundated with targets. Mike Williams.
No.
Jerry Jeudy.
Yes.
I would agree with you on Jerry Jeudy. Michael Pittman.
Yes.
That one's close. I think I have Evans one spot ahead of him.
The problem I have there is that Anthony Richardson, basically the
awful.
only thing he can do is throw the ball deep down the field, which is not really what Michael Pittman excels at. But Baker can't do that. like Mike Evans is I feel like he's gonna get his, and he's gonna have a lot of touchdowns because he will be the target in the red zone. I'm not looking for Baker to throw it 60 yards down the field and get Mike on those long, because that's not what Baker does.
No. I fully believe you're undervaluing that Baker Mayfield may be sent here from the government to kill every team that he puts on a jersey for. We're not giving that enough credence because he has typhooned them all. And your team
he hasn't
is
typhooned them
coached
all.
by Todd Bowles, who also could be a plant from the government sent here to make you sad.
He was not great for Cleveland, I get that, but he did get them to a playoff game. He went to Carolina where the deck was stacked against him.
Oh, man, I'm glad you went that vowel instead of the other one.
Yeah, exactly. I went through all the vowels except for the one. And then he went to L.A. where nobody cared. Like, he had the one game where – who were they playing in that game? I don't even remember. When they scored 50 points.
I don't remember.
Was it Houston?
I think blood came out of my ear. And
right. They had that one game, but other than that, he was the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's gotten better.
By the way,
I'm saying his weapons are better.
Yeah, by the way, that wasn't an opinion. That was an actual, honest-to-God statistical fact.
And I don't think he's going to be good this year either. But I do think he's going to be good enough to get Mike Evans his 10th season in a row with over 1,000 yards, and everybody's just chalking this up like, oh, Mike Evans is old and his quarterback sucks. He's not even relevant anymore. You're gonna be eating them words at the end of the season. I have a feeling.
Well, my only problem is that once you get past the names that I just said, and I'm going to say these quickly to keep from giving you the opportunity to say something stupid, which would be that you're going to take Mike Evans ahead of any of them. DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Maury Cooper, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, Chris Olave. Not even in the stratosphere. I don't vehemently disagree with much of what you just said. I disagree with the Baker thing. I also could see a path that Mike Evans is not on this team. He has trade candidate written all over him because you're not going to be good before he's done. And even if you get Caleb Williams, you ain't going to be good with Caleb Williams either, unless you hire a coach that's not Todd Bowles, and then we can talk.
And we will. I mean, after this season goes the way it's going to go.
Last year too, and yet this year, coming to a sideline near you.
Yeah, man.
Todd Bowles with the look of somebody pooed themselves near him, and he just discovered it.
You made the playoffs last year. I told you if they made the playoffs, that wasn't happening.
You didn't mean to. You made the playoffs because 7 teams physically have to, and they went
100%.
Brady. That one. Come on. All right.
Last pick.
Yeah, I will quickly do this, and I've already said the name. It's Elijah Moore. It's Elijah Moore because I feel like now this is almost like the unholy trinity of now. Not only do you have a super talented young receiver that is trying to get that second deal, because people forget he was a second-round pick. He was early in the second round, but he was a second-round pick. So he's only got 2 more years left on the deal. And he's got the biggest chip on his shoulder of anybody in the NFL. And he's got Deshaun Watson throwing to him. You were talking about Miles Sanders being on 100% of your teams?
Yeah.
Elijah Moore will probably be on 100% of mine.
You're in the Sportocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. I would like to point out before we go to break, though, here that none of your choices were on my stay away from list.
Well,
so just clearing that up.
They were on all of yours that were on the stay away from list were at least discussed to be on this list. If you had to take one more, just a flyer, one name, one line, who is it?
Oh, God. You go first, and then I'll give you one.
Zay Flowers. It tells me everything I need to know when you've got Odell Beckham Jr. that the quarterback fought to get here, and all he keeps doing is waxing poetic about how great Zay Flowers is.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go easy again. Alvin Kamara. That all turns around, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was 2 on my list, and then I went, okay, I can't even say this ADP out loud because people got worried about a suspension that now I almost feel like universally we know is not coming.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see that sort out before I know where he falls.
If anything, he's getting a 1 or a 2. If you're doing early drafts, you can still sneak in on that.
It's no more than 2.
Alvin Kamara's current ADP is 89, which is ridiculous. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we return, off-season files for the Los Angeles Rams. That shouldn't take too much.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up for tonight and into Wednesday with rain showers, thunderstorms in from the northwest. We're in the upper 60s here in the valley tonight. Chance for thunderstorms with heavy downpours Wednesday. High 83 degrees. Hopefully that'll clean out some of the haze and smoke. Also, scattered thunderstorms Thursday, 84 degrees. Scattered storms Friday, high temps in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 west and eastbound both stop and go between the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge and Amboy Road. 240 on the eastbound side slow between Tunnel Road and Exit 8. Future 26 westbound stop and go between 240 and Elk Mountain Road. Future 26 eastbound stop and go between Broadway Street and 240. 26 eastbound delays between Brevard Road and Long Shoals Road. 26 on the westbound side stop and go approaching Fanning Bridge Road, continuing to Airport Road. 40 westbound stop and go between Sweeten Creek Road and Brevard Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound delays between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road, very busy. I'm Lyman Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by ComparionInsurance.com.
Like to shop local? Go to ComparionInsurance.com. Their agents are local insurance experts finding you the right insurance at the right price from national carriers. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents. Expert advice.
The free iHeartRadio app covers the sports teams you love like no one else. Catch the latest breaking news, plus the upcoming NFL season's just around the corner. And iHeartRadio is your official podcast partner of the NFL. Make the iHeart app your go-to to stay up to date on all things in the sports world. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Join Western Carolina Rescue Ministries for the 5th annual Light Up the Night 5K. Help raise funds in support of our community that will be directly used to support moms and babies in the Avis House Recovery Program. Light Up the Night 5K will take place at Carrier Park in Asheville on Friday, August 4th. Participants will take to the Greenway to run or walk this fun and unique event. With a 7:30 start time, you can learn more and sign up at westerncarolinarescue.org/LUTN23.
Hey, let's get out of here. With Audible, we could root for a lone astronaut as he tries to save Earth from disaster. Maybe go for a run with the founder of the world's biggest sneaker brand. We could get the tea on the real-life media mogul succession drama. Or find out what life is really like for an Oscar-winning actress. I mean, with Audible, we could go anywhere. There's more to imagine when we listen. Hear the latest audiobooks, podcasts, and originals at audible.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This year. I have seen way too many fan predictions on these fan pages of people putting the Los Angeles Rams in the playoffs, and I can't figure out how you get there because they're not even close to the best team in their division. They're not even close to the second best team in their division.
I don't disagree with any of that. It's more that the NFC is bad. I said I was going to say nice things. So I will say Hunter Long is a really good tight end, and I think he is a fun, deep sleeper in fantasy football. And I'm out of nice things to say.
And I'm out of nice things to say. Well, I mean, congratulations to Aaron Donald for the 7th time in his career being a member of the 99 Club in Madden. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams because that is the biggest achievement your team's going to have this year.
I have never, outside of expansion teams, seen a defense with one absolute stud, a couple guys I kind of like, and 7 absolute nameless, faceless entities. Good passing teams will annihilate them. I don't really understand how people are getting to hope. Could they make the playoffs? Sure. Do I think they're going to? Oh, good Lord, no.
Mm-mm.
But could they? I guess, because you do have a great coach. I think McVay's a great coach. You have one of the best defensive players in the league. You've got a good quarterback and an elite receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And then tell me what you have from there.
Cam Akers is the next best thing.
Pro Football Focus put out a list ranking the best 5 players on every roster. Who were the 4th and 5th names on that list?
I would guess Cam Akers would be one.
Nope.
No. Higbee?
You had, it was Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald were the first 3.
Higbee?
Nope.
Was it Ernest Jones?
Ernest Jones was 4.
Okay. Akella Witherspoon?
Steve Avila, who they just took in the second
Northwestern?
round. TCU.
Or TCU. Purple School. I did that again.
Yep.
I always do that. Really? Steve Avila was 5.
That they just took in the second round of not the deepest draft you've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you took this free fall immediately.
Easy. You said falafel them picks for 7 years.
Now you have no Jalen Ramsey.
They have a first-round pick next year.
Mm-hmm.
That kid, whoever it is that the Rams take, when they take him, he was a freshman in high school the last time they had a first-round pick, and it was Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on the high side. They might have been younger than that.
Yep. They went hiring. They went for the hired guns that first year to get the Super Bowl win. You got it. You couldn't keep those guys on board. You couldn't keep Von Miller. You couldn't keep Odell Beckham Jr. You had Andrew Whitworth go away, and the attrition that you've had over the last 2 years. Now you're down to one injury, and you're worthless.
Well, they tried to trade Stafford in the offseason. Nobody would pick up the deal, and they shouldn't.
Because, I mean, the guy was talking about retiring last year.
Yeah, and to me, I think Stafford has to be a sunk cost. Like Cowboy Zach Hurst said in the comments, Baker was the penalty for having Brady for the Bucs. Where you're at now is the penalty for that one Super Bowl with the Rams. You're stuck with Stafford. I have been absolute in the belief that they should have tried to trade Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald for whatever they could get.
Mm-hmm.
This roster is horrifically bad. But I still look at McVay and go, you could win 8 games. I don't know how you're going to do it. I have absolutely no clue. I think this is one of the 5 worst teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't have Sean McVay, it'd be real easy for me to just go, and dead. You are Houston Texans West. But a good coach covers up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How many wins does this team have in 2023 to you?
6, maybe.
I want to say 4. I really do. I want to say 4. But then I come back to McVay, and I think I'm right there with you at 6.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. It's going to be a very tough year for the Los Angeles Rams. We'll continue with the offseason files, your fantasy football previews, and more coming up tomorrow. Plus, Jeremy's going to have all his bangers for the U.S. Open, because we're not going to be with you on Thursday for the U.S.
Open
tournament.
No, the U.S. Open's already happened.
I mean, the
we are too.
Open Championship.
The Open Championship played live from Memorial, Liverpool.
Indeed. All the bangers for the Open Championship coming up tomorrow as well. We'll see you back here on ESPN Asheville at 3.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 west end eastbound stop and go both directions between the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge and Amboy Road. Future 26 westbound stop and go between 240 to approaching Elk Mountain Road. Future 26 eastbound stop and go between Broadway Street and 240. 26 westbound is stop and go between Hendersonville Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound is stop and go between the French Broad River and Long Shoals Road. 40 westbound crawling between Sweeten Creek Road and Bavard Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north